Sure.
Hey, hello everyone. Sriram here. I have a person from Canada who cleared PMP recently. It's late in the night, but she said, okay, let me give some success story before I go to sleep. Okay. So Dipika in front of us, she cleared PMP on 6th of December. Okay. So definitely she has a lot of ups and downs in the story. She's going to talk about it. Before that, first, congratulations, Dipika, for this wonderful achievement.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sriram. Appreciate it.
Great. You'll see the certificate. Okay. To see this color, this certificate, and I'm sure you'll sacrifice a lot. A lot of push and pull would have happened. But did you have this a date in mind? December 6th, you're going to crack it, or were there any changes in the date?
Yeah, the date I was wanting was earlier one, but one of my other class colleagues beat me to it. And I could not get that scheduled on that particular day, the 28th, 29th of November. And then the next one that I could see available just 2 days really before the 6th of December is when I could find that center that I wanted. And so I just got it booked on the 6th then. And I said, okay, let me at least make it work. Yeah.
Got you. Good. But you're determined that this year I'll be done, isn't it? That's what you had?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You had mentioned it in the class so many times. So there was no doubt about it that I was going to finish it like, long before Christmas. That was the plan.
That's a good idea. Okay, let's listen something from you. Where are you from? What do you do? What made you to come to PMP?
Okay. I come from a totally energy background, oil and gas. Right now, that's not a wonderful time for oil and gas going on. So this was perfect really to get this achieved at this time, like really of the year. And I also first got myself into the agile part as well, because what I have been doing all these years is oil and gas project management. So I build oil and gas plants anywhere from 10,000 barrels a day to about 135,000 barrels per day of oil. And that means billions of dollars worth of projects is what I work on. Now there we are using the full PMBOK principles and guidelines, to follow through with the project. So that's exactly what is being followed, but more on the predictive side, not the adaptive side. But now lately I'm seeing, with the way the market trend is going, everything is becoming agile. Everybody wants is quick results, good value for their money. So we are slowly shifting into it. And then we are taking little portions of projects to be worked in agile. But I thought let's get this started and see where it takes me. So at Harvard, I did the project management course over there. And I thought, okay, let me see if I like it first of all. And I did like it. So I even did the Scrum Master certification as well. And I thought, hey, I'm thinking now I want to go for the PMP. Let's try this and see if how this works. And then I happened to stumble onto your website somehow when I was looking for who would be the best person to get me through with this one. And that's when I thought, okay, I see ShriLearning, and then I just communicated with them, and Rahul was as usual always there, alert, waiting for answering any questions that you have. And it worked out just fine. Your class started was on the 2nd, and I enrolled on that same day. So I could not attend that class. And then I got the following weekend because Sunday there was no class, I understand. So I'd missed that one class, got all uptight. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to make this work because the long distance affair is really difficult for me. And especially with early morning, 6 o'clock, 6:30, going to work is different, but sitting for a class, being alert is a lot more different as well. And we made it work because, hey, once I was attending the class, there was no sleep. You really put me to ease on that one. So I really appreciated that. And the class was really good. It was quite interactive. Enjoyed every bit of it. I wouldn't do it any otherwise. And it worked for me. So I said, okay, now the class is done, but now the study is on my part that I have to finish. But then your mock tests, which we were getting the 40 questions every week, that came in very handy. It if you are nervous about tests and exams and whatever, this is the best way to kill that nervousness, is to just keep writing the exams, writing the tests, as many questions you can solve. That's the best part. The other thing that you mentioned was about reading Rita Mulcahy's book as well, a couple of times. Now, with me and reading, I love reading, but I have read so much now that I have messed up my eyes big time. So I like to listen to audiobooks really, technically, but there was nothing available on Rita's book. I had the PDF copy, which I said I have to make it somehow to read this whole book. So what I did was I thought of an idea. I recorded my own self by reading the book once thoroughly, fully. And that's when I told you in the last day of the class, I have read it, but I don't know how much I think I can do it again. But then I read each and every chapter from Rita's book and the Agile guide as well. And I recorded each and every chapter. And then I kept listening to it as many times as I could. So that really was a very good thing I could do for myself.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Very interesting, really. I like that. I think some of you are going to ask you in this YouTube video, can I get that audio recording?
I don't know about that, because you can really get out of breath. They are quite
Right.
long, and especially the
Right.
procurement, the risk,
Wow.
quality,
Lot
and
there.
you have to be at it. And at times I was like, I forgot that I was recording because I was trying to make sense and understand what is written. So there was pauses and gaps as well.
I understand.
I've
That's good
seen my
effort.
own flaws in whatever has happened. So I wouldn't offer that really.
That's good, actually. But first thing I really like is the industry where you come from, oil and gas, and you start talking in billions of dollars. You're talking about the liquid gold, what you have,
Yes,
right?
black gold.
Black gold, we call it as,
Yeah.
right? Oil and gas industry, very flourishing industry. Of course, alternate solutions are coming up, but still, that it still has its own energy and power. And I'm happy that the industry started thinking it. On top of that, you are thinking that I have to adapt to it, because
Yes.
there are many people think that it's okay, yeah, somehow we'll survive and retire one day. Many don't take that effort to, I have to learn. Okay, so you being a front runner now, you learn it. I'm sure many will start following you in your corporate now. They look for you. Okay, she has done it now. I should also get into there.
Yes. At the moment, everybody is stunned. Let's put it this way about agile mindset. Yeah.
That's really, really good. Superb. So now let's understand something. You mentioned that agile is not highly followed there. And agile is highly discussed from the IT company for the last few years. Here and there, we heard this word, but not in our day-to-day life. Now, when you read the books, were you able to connect with these concepts?
See, with so many years of experience in completing all these projects, like, delivering them, you have to follow each and every aspect of the PMBOK, really.
Yeah.
Because you take it like, framework. Yes, we have to understand that. If you take about like, procurement, risk, quality, everything is absolutely included in there. The only part is the agile part. And that is that mindset part, which corporate area, forget it. Nobody wants to know, like, how you can help and how you can adapt. Like, they want to know is, we need to know what we need to do. Everything has to be ready, and it's all known upfront. If there is a problem, there is a really big problem, then to get yourself like, into that mode of getting it, like, how do we make sure it's all integrated, and first of all, it's accepted. So that part is the only part which is the adaptive part. But predictive is what mainly oil and gas mainly will follow, is predictive. The
Right.
waterfall
Got
systems,
you.
everything
Got you.
has to be known upfront. Yeah.
Got you. Got you.
So
So even if you
connecting
learn
it,
agile,
yeah.
agile
Sorry.
will be of a mindset. Agile will be of a people oriented. I think that's the area we will focus even in oil and gas. I believe it won't be the routine of what they do in agile and normal companies. That may not be for oil and gas, right? Oil and gas will think more of how to handle people effectively.
That is very important. Yes, you just mentioned it, like, rightly, that we deal with a lot of people. So I remember, like, even 10 years ago, it was about 20,000 plus people we were dealing with on a project. Not that you will know each and every person, like, who works there, but you are dealing with so many groups and subgroups and silos that you have to be dealing with a lot of people. The other thing is, I was finding is, everything has to be known upfront. So there is no way you can deviate from that. So that part, Agile has really taught me that, hey, you need to be flexible, like, as to, you can't just take for face value that thou shalt do this and that shall happen. It need
Right.
not happen that way. So
Right.
that part is where now the new Agile portion comes in, and that is
Perfect.
something that we can adapt. The other part is oil and gas. We used to deal with, like, what, 20,000, 30, 40,000 is the lowest really I've done barrels per day of oil. And now we are not able to spend that kind of money. So now they want to break it down into, like, say, 5,000 barrels, 10,000 barrels. So as your volume becomes smaller, the number of people will be smaller. Everything is going to go smaller. Now you want to see how I can get the best value in the quickest time. So maybe
Right.
what we took about 4 years to make, like, one project work, I may be able to do like 3-4 projects in that much time. So that is value for the company. So this is where Agile really helps and comes in the picture these days. So it is wonderful. I'm really all gung-ho about this whole thing, and I'm
All
enjoying
right.
it. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
You are ready to conduct a session for your company now.
Oh, sure, because that is part of the PMP professionalism, right?
I'm happy to hear this word of barrel and all this stuff. It's pretty long time we don't hear this. Now I'm hearing all these barrel words. Nice to go. Okay, good. So that's a reading habit. So how do you manage between work and reading? You wake up early in the morning, late in the night, you sit. How do you do?
I'm not a morning person at all. Sorry. I can stay late at night till about 2 o'clock. I will even stay, like, studying till about 4 o'clock in the morning as well.
Oh man.
And sometimes I used to see Kunal's, Rahul's, like, text as well, that by 3:30 means 4 o'clock my time, the mock test will be uploaded. And that's the moment I used to fall asleep. That was the only.
Oh.
But I would see those texts as well. So yeah, I am more of a late, like, night person. So first thing in the morning, the brain has to switch on. So that takes a little while.
Right.
But then your classes brought me back on earth, like, saying, hey, come on, wake up. You have to be up for the class. So no, the studies really began once your class started. That's how it was for me.
But again, tell me, this is after long years from academics, you're sitting for reading and doing. Okay. If of course we have done some small courses here and there, but the PMP is not small course. It's an extensive course. It's like an MBA, compressed MBA. Okay. So now
the portion is vast. Absolutely.
Vast. See, class itself, if you watch out, we go for 10 days of every day, 4.5 hours. Keep listening, you will sometimes will be overflowing. But this guy keep on talking something. What he's talking? Right?
No, I didn't feel it that way, though. It was really enjoyable. And I mean it. Absolutely, each and every aspect of the class was like fun for me. So I didn't have a dull moment at all. No.
Thanks for the positive words. And learning this happened, you were reading the books, Rita, you were listening to classes. I assume that you are part of every week test. At least you write and see how the test is going on. And every day we have 10 questions in the WhatsApp. That also, I think you're trying to answer and get the rhythm of it. Now, at what stage you started feeling that I'm ready for the main exam? Let me go.
After I spoke to you, because I asked you, remember that, okay, when do you think we are ready? Because I'm right now, like, I don't know how much ever I do. I don't know whether I'm ready or not. And that's when you said, first of all, the study hall was mentioned, which I never could get it, because by the time I tried, like, it had shut down. And I even mentioned it to Rahul that, hey, I can't see it. I don't know, am I not looking at the right place? And he says, no, they have stopped.
Yeah.
So study hall was ruled out. But what you mentioned was, in the study hall, there were a couple of full mock exams. If we could do that, and then the 2 full mock exams from ShriLearning. And I followed at least the ShriLearning part. I did all the 10 questions. I used to do quite a bit of those. Then the 40 questions, maybe not at 3:30 right away, but at least during the day I would finish it and I would do those. So that gives a bit of a confidence. But still, I find that when you go for the exams, whatever you do, it just feels like, nah, it didn't work. You still need to have the thought process, like, have you understood the concept? If you haven't, it will be difficult. That's what I was feeling.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. I agree that point. Also, this exam fear is always with us. It could be our school days or college days. whatever level you go, somebody's used the word exam. It could be your driver license, it could be of something.
And here we have way too many exams to give. Like, as soon as you come here, you are immigrant. So then you have to go fill form here, give test there, driving test, like, go for the writing test, then you go for the real driving test.
Right.
It's everywhere you go, there is some test or the other to be completed. But that doesn't make you less fearless for the, it still gives you the fear.
True. See, in this exam, two things involved. One is money of around $500. Okay, that is one. Other one is our prestige and value. At this age, at this stage of life, we don't want to fail.
No, that failing is the biggest fear. I totally agree with you. And that Rita's book, when each and every chapter, there's a questionnaire, like 35, 37 questions, whatever at the end. You solve those and you feel you don't have a clue about management. This is the way I was getting the feeling in the beginning. I've tried all this and you are getting around 70, somewhere there, 70%. But still it gives you that feeling that you really don't know anything. You need to read this whole thing again. So till the end, you are never sure that you are going to be able to do this.
Right.
Sure.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So you planned your exam in home or you went to center?
No, I had to go to the center. That center was yet another experience, I'm telling you. First of all, we have about 3-4 centers in town. And the timeline that I was looking at, because it was either in the morning, means you are wasting your whole day. So I thought if I take it in the afternoon, then I can just finish it off and go home. Now, the whole thing is about the centers not getting the timings where they are located. I think something happened, like, somebody must have canceled. And that's why in the last 2.5 days or something, I could figure it out. I kept looking every day and I got the timing and I just booked it. So there was no way I could cancel the date once it was booked, because it was just 2.5 days before the exam.
Right.
So I booked it, like, now when I went to that Proctor place, the place is not a very big center. So they have 2-3 rooms, and they have one is a bigger room, I think, because all different kinds of tests are taken over there, not just the PMP. So the CAT or the GMAT, GRE, very many other exams are there. And the place can get noisy. Now, when I went there, they did not offer the headsets. I don't know whether they forgot about it or what. So they thought that I was going to be there for 4 hours, the maximum time maybe at the time. And they put me in a room where there were 3 terminals. So, and it had a door. So then what they did was they put me there, they logged in and just got me right away started. And then they took off. But the door, instead of closing it, they just pulled it. So the door opened. And there was just noise after that. And I could not, once you are sitting, you can't get up and go, because then I'm losing time. There were times when I was putting my hands on my ears, for about the first 60 questions, I lost a lot of time over there. And I was really getting frustrated. Then about 15 minutes in the exam, and then there was some gentleman who walked in my that same room on another terminal. And that person was getting way too noisy for me, because they would just get up, adjust something or the other, make that noise, and no headset. So I could hear everything loud and clear. And then the person, had some problem or whatever, they went out and came in, and then they had the rep, the office person also come in. So those 15-20 minutes, was a lot of lost time I was feeling at the time.
Yeah.
And I was getting to that panic and frustration moment that this shouldn't have happened. It's happening and I'm not able to control it. But then they moved him to the other terminal there. And I don't know what exam that person was giving, but it was maybe for an hour and a half. I don't know. Finally, that person was gone and I was just relieved. And then I had my first break after the 60 questions. And I just asked them, give me the headset. That's the first.
Kill me or give me or kill you.
Because I don't know if you're going to put another person there who will be noisy as well. And I said, keep the noise down. It's too noisy over here.
Yeah.
So anyways, but
in fact,
then
you
once
could have,
the headsets.
You could have raised the hands in between also. No need to wait for the break. You would have raised the hand, they'll come to you. They can see you in the CCTV camera regularly. What you're doing there.
When I was doing this, I was hoping that somebody would come in.
And, no.
Until
you ask, they won't do anything.
that helps really. Yeah, and it did. Boy, oh boy. No, but that was the biggest troublesome moment for me.
And I was
so
how much of time? How much of time you did for 60 questions?
I took more than an hour.
Oh, 60
More
minutes
than
is
an hour.
decent. Usually people go 90 minutes or 100 minutes. What you saw in the clock, there is a timer running. 230 minutes, it get to 140, 150. Maybe you don't
It
remember.
was, I don't even remember now anymore, because
Okay.
that moment of time, my head
Yeah,
was
yeah,
in
yeah.
the headsets.
Different
That's it.
mind. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So how was the questions? Questions was lengthy, so much of
Yes.
scenarios. How was it?
Very wordy, lengthy questions I was
Mm.
having. And so you have to read it all before you can come to a conclusion. And the noise was not helping me. So the beginning, I tell you, the 60 questions when they grill me, that is where I thought, like, I don't know. I can't even tell whether I did was right or wrong.
I like the body language
Also,
you said. I'll read it. I can sense a big monitor, lengthy line.
yes, the screens were bigger. So it is as good as you reading.
It's looking like watching a 3D movie in a 70 theater
In a big
where these
theater.
guys
Yeah.
running.
So no, but the questions were wordy. And the other thing is, remember when we have questions in our marks, we had select say 2 options, because this is something like, I was seeing most of them had just pick one answer out of the 3, whatever. But here they had like, you have to pick 3. So they gave you 6 options. The more options they give, the worse it gets, because
Right.
now there will be very closely related answers as well. So I thought, okay, you got us used to having at least 2 options. Now maybe we'll need to increase it to 3 options and give a total of 6 options over there and pick 3 answers out of which are closest related to. So
Right.
that part was a bit challenging. And then Prasanna had also said, so the graph part, like, yes, I had also the graph part as to, they show you some graphs and they ask you at what point do you see that you are not meeting the deadlines, like that part I also had got it. Then I had another set of graph as well, where in that graph itself, they give you in the first quadrant, they give you 4 options over there. And from the wordy question, whatever they have, they're asking you pick what is the answer that you need to do from this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that part was something like, was different. And
Looks
they're
like
very
new.
close. You call agile, you call adaptive. Now, how do you very quickly, closely pick, like, from there? But
That's
if you really know what context they're going in, then yes, then you can answer. But otherwise, that part might get tricky. So that's what I found. And then you have to read it right to make sure they're asking you accept, or just they're asking you answer from these options. Because sometimes, like, I was making that mistake, that instead of saying accept, I was giving the answer that is required, and that doesn't work right in the marks. So there I learned my lesson already.
Okay, good. A lot of practice exams helped us, right, to come on the track.
Big time. That's why I was even telling our WhatsApp group in my batch, those people, forget about, like, trying all these other resources. You don't need to, because ShriLearning is giving enough of the questions to really get a good practice on. And the full 4-hour marks, that makes a big difference, is what I feel, because then you know your timing, whether you can finish it within that time. And there, I didn't have a problem with that.
Very good.
But on the exam, like, because when you have these other distractions, like, no headsets, and then that part I would not plan for. So this is where I was having a problem. But still, I made it above target, and I was quite chuffed about it. Like, yes.
Hard work paid back. So last few minutes, I mean, how much minutes you had when you come to the last question? Hardly 5-6 minutes or 4 minutes?
No, less than that. Because when I was in that last 5 minutes, I could see that I have few questions to go.
Oh, you had till last minute. Okay.
Yes, I
Okay.
had to go till the last minute, because I think where my problem was is that first hour that I lost quite a bit of time, and the distraction. You need to focus when you're writing this exam,
Right,
and that
that's
focus
true.
couldn't come in, because of that noise. So,
So
I was having a hard time.
When you click the last button, are you sure you're going to get PMP certified?
No, on the contrary, my brain was in a daze. I didn't know what I did. 4 hours is a long time to even know what was my first question and how I started. Even when you are going on the break, they give you you can review the questions that you have answered.
Hmm.
So instead of like, saying flag the question so you could review only those, I think I by mistake in that panic, I pressed highlight. So it came out as though I had to review all my questions. And I
Oh,
was like, no, I'm going, because the time is still ticking when you're
running
doing
on.
that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That part I didn't know. I thought the clock would stop and it will take 5 minutes and then it'll go. No, it didn't work out that way. So I had a very adventurous, interesting test here. And so I said, okay, you know what? I'm just going to give up. I think I have read it properly. From what I know, I've done it. So I'm just going to go with that and say, yes, it should be good. I don't want to review it again. So it did work. It did work. Yeah. Very interesting test I've had.
I think you can talk about this experience for a while in your family. What you had this exam, ups and downs.
Yeah, the first thing, like, I let them know, but I cleared it, and they were all like, pause for a minute as to what's going on, because it was too early over there in India.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
but then they are like, okay, so what, 4 hours? What do you do for 4 hours? Like, sitting writing these things like that. Don't you know it already? Okay, yeah, sure. I should know it. You're right. But no, it was absolutely great. Like, yeah, letting them know, and they just don't see like the importance of that PMP, because they think like, already this. So why do you have to do this? You talk about agile, then it's like, okay, we don't know anything about that. That's the way.
I understand. Good. So the moment you saw the word congratulations, what was your mind?
I cried literally.
I would ask that because I've seen many people emotionally stuck. At the day, one guy will call me, Shriram, I'm seeing the results in front of me. He couldn't talk for a few seconds. You can see the choke happening. He couldn't come out. So did you felt that?
Joke, I was like in a daze, so I didn't know what was going on. And so when that message came through, I read it. It still didn't make any sense to me, even after it said congratulations. I was like, why is it saying this? I don't know how I did get on. But then I said, wait a minute here. I think it's talking to me.
You would have thought it's one more PMP question.
I thought, did I miss something? And that's why he's saying, you not you. You forgot about answering this, whatever. But no, then the screen went totally white. So I said, oh, now they're going to tell me that, yeah, you know what, it was no, it didn't happen. Like, you still have something more to do or whatever. And then the survey came in and I thought, okay, I think I am getting the hang of it now that, yes, this is all.
Getting the hang of it.
The way they're pulling me in. But no, it was, for a few minutes, I was like just sitting there, like, trying to think, like, did I really go through this? Did this really happen? Kind of a thing. And still, it only tells you congratulations. It doesn't tell you how you did. So I thought, oh boy, are they going to tell me that you did really poorly? You barely made it. So when the lady prints out the thing in the front office there, she doesn't say anything. So I thought she's also quiet, means I don't know how I did. Like, about target. I'm like, the only one making the noise at the time.
You shouted, hey, man, I did it.
Wow, man, this is great.
The front office people are trained in a way, they don't react. Even if you smile, you laugh, they look like a crazy person.
And exactly that's the way she looked at me, and she just said, here's your printout. So I was like, okay, I don't know whether I did okay. And it says congratulations. So did I get through or not? I don't know. Thankfully, so that's the moment I took the picture, and I was like, afterwards.
Yeah, thankfully they're giving the congratulations. See, we are telling that, even I'm telling the PMI institutes writing out, give a word pass, a big word pass. You did a good job. Some crackers coming up there. So that makes people
that would be nice. Yeah, give me some kind of sprinklers going, something like, and because here it was just a very dry line, like saying, and then there were 2-3 lines after that. So you're like, first of all, that big screen, you have to go on like this, So the congratulations part, okay, yeah, done. What else are you saying now?
Oh my God. On top of that, this front office guys will react like a serious fellow. As if you did a mistake, they look at you.
Absolutely. So no,
That's
mine was
crazy.
a quite adventurous, wonderful
Yeah,
journey. It was.
and that's a nice one. Nice and good to know. Great to know. So now, you have any tips for the people who prepare or who come from industry like what you're doing as a predictive way? Any tips you have for them?
For the predictive way, the agilism mindset is the very right word. So if you have and can develop that mindset, then this becomes a lot easier to deal with. That's what I feel. And what they should be doing is like, hey, go for the PMP, learn these agile ways, because the industry that I come from, I find that we are not very flexible. We have to be very flexible in order to adapt. And that part is a big necessity in this industry that I come from. So for me, I got exposed to this kind of education, and I am really very pleased about it. Because even when we were doing the mock question, the few mock questions, like, people used to bring out as to comments and questions like, is this right or whatever. There also, I used to have like, a couple of my colleagues there that, no, you don't be so harsh on people. You can't do this. And they were like, oh, no, this is the way PMI say. I'm like, no, that's not the way PMI does it. So we did have a little bit of a banter there going back and forth on WhatsApp as well.
All
But at the
right.
end of the day, I find like, it was a good banter. So people should take up on the agile
Yeah.
studies and go with
Yeah.
that. Like, yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Perfect. Perfect. I know that I'm keep talking about knowledge workers, right? In the classes, we bring those topic. The mindset was different years back. Now we work with more of knowledge workers who are capable of doing their job on their own without anyone being instructing them. So when you work with such kind of people, you cannot be tough with them. They know what to do. You don't need to tell
Yeah.
them, right?
Mm.
But there are different set of people. They need instructions. So we should know whom to handle how. I think PMI made a good job in bringing those content in the book really well.
Yes,
They have
absolutely. Yeah.
they put in a right way, Sometimes when you read first time, you won't get it. Second and third time when you read, it makes sense. Yeah, this guy's written it in a good way, right? That's how it is. Super. Very good. Nice. First, thanks a lot for coming up
Thank
here.
you.
I think we had a good laughter here, listening a lot of things, even though it looked like laughter, the background is even you said about your specs, right? Something story
Yeah.
about your specs. What about your specs?
Yeah, the 2 days, like, before the exam, and I was just frantically reading, solving those Rita's questions. And for some reason, it was like, what, gone midnight or something. And I just moved the glasses because I was trying to get that full focus on it, and just heard the clip go snapping on me. And I was like, no, I'm trying to clean it out. No, it won't. And it just had snapped out so bad that you can't even fix it. So
Oh,
that night I managed to, like, just have those on somehow and stop from sliding, like, putting a Kleenex or something there. But then I said, no, this is not the way to go. Just go get yourself another pair. And I waited there 3 hours just to get my specs. And then I said,
Oh,
okay, like, I will go home and come back, because in the first half an hour, they said, like, it's not going to be ready. So I had taken my book, I sat reading over there. Just in case, like, that if they get it done sooner, I'm just there.
right.
They said, no, it's going to take a little longer. So I said, okay, I'll drive home, then sit doing my stuff again. And then I went back again and got them done.
That's
He
it.
was
Look
like,
at
what's the hurry? You could have waited. No, can't wait for this one. 4 hours is a long time, like, to sit for the exam
every
without
minute
proper
counts.
glasses.
Really, really like the way you put a lot of effort there. I think after the exam, you should feel much relieved, relaxed. You feel better now.
2 days it takes, first of all, for that thing to sink in, that yes, this is done. I still
Ah,
go back to the ShriLearning mock test. I still look at those questions. It's such a routine now that you
yeah,
can't just, like, say it's all over and done with.
yeah.
Also, like, at 2 o'clock at night, I may just wake up thinking that, oh, I still have to finish this. Yeah, I haven't looked at these questions. Like, I haven't reviewed those, this and this. So yeah, it takes like the whole week, I'm telling you, to get adjusted to the whole thing here. But
God,
it's fun. I still enjoy that, because, hey, I did really do a lot of work. That's how I look at it now.
I think you have a good hangover.
Yes, it is a big hangover I've got here. Yeah.
Oh my God. I know,
No,
I
and
know.
where we come from, Shriyam, we have to first consider is weather. Forget about everything else. And we had, like, on Monday, I was thinking I would drive to the center. And it started to snow at night. In the morning, I wake up and I find, oh boy, this is not looking good, because when the roads are slippery, lots of accidents already happening in the morning. I'm not taking a chance. I want to drive because then I know that I can come home when I'm done. But then I said, no, I don't want to take a chance. And it kept snowing and snowing. The weather was really not all that wonderful, conducive enough for me to do anything. So I took the Uber. I called Uber and I said, I'm just leaving now. Be an hour before the time, but that's okay because we need to be half an hour before time. And I took the taxi because I said, no, I'm not fooling around.
I think that's a better decision you made. On a snowy day, you cannot try. Okay. Good. Look, like a lot
with the stress. Yeah. With the stress going on, you're better off, like, being stress-free, at least with these things. And it worked.
Great. Look like a lot of obstacles, blockers brought on your way. You cleared everything and made it.
Just look forward to saying, yes, Sriram said, yes, we can do this. We're just going to head for it and do it today. That's the end of it. No questions.
That's great. Really happy hearing you. Superb, Dipika. Thanks for coming up here. It was so interesting to listen. A lot of content from you. And all the viewers who are watching this video, thanks to you for watching this. I'm sure you got a lot of content. She said everything in a good, smiling, laughter way. But I'm sure a lot of pain behind that. Each one, including the spec stuff, that day, that frustration. Only she will know that. But still, one thing I have found with her is very determined that I will make it at any cost, right? That is what expected. So as a viewer, you too will catch up the date soon. We'll see your success. Now let's give wishes and likes and comments to Dipika. Once again, good wishes, Dipika. Good to see you applying what you learned already. That's very important. We will see more success on your way. Good wishes for you.
Thank you, Sriram. I really look forward to the next step now, the ACP perhaps.
Welcome. The people joins this group will keep going other classes also. So since already you learned Agile, now right time to tune a little more and clear the ACP as well. I'm sure you will drill all your corporate people. Hey guys, let's learn Agile.
I drill them bad enough as is, so that's why they think, oh boy, this is going to be more trouble. But no, it was absolutely a wonderful journey. I enjoyed it. And I really, I'm encouraging the other students as well to quickly appear, as somebody mentioned on the WhatsApp as well, that by the end of this year, 2021, the whole October batch, they should be completed with their PMP. Right. So you will have a lot of PMPs that you will be dealing with perhaps. For next course.
Good. That's good. In fact, there's a good thing I found in this group. People motivate each other. That there is no people telling that only I have to win. Once a person wins, they say that's a way to win. Please go ahead. I think that a good positive note is there in this group. We appreciate it. Yes. Super good. Thanks a lot for being here and keep winning more and appreciate your success.
Sure. Thank you very much.